Welcome to Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, back again with another episode with my friend Michael. We're going to be talking about something that I hope that a lot of you out there are interested in, and it's trust, right? We're going to be talking about trust today and what that means and how he sees it, how I see it. But before we get into that, I'm going to let him introduce himself to you for those of you that don't know him.
Hello, it's Michael. I'm glad to be back. It's been a while. Been busy, been working. So hopefully we can do this more often.
Yeah, indeed. We need to before you leave, but it's all good. Okay, look here. Let me lay the foundation, right, for this conversation that we're about to have. Michael and I are enrolled in a college course that we're taking in Western Kentucky, and it's a social ethics class. Love it. And during the orientation, a question came up about trust. Is that right?
I think it was about trust. I don't.
Well, you describe how, because you describe how did we get on the topic of trust, as best as you can remember.
I think the professor was talking. Of course, it's orientation about the rules, do's and don'ts.
Yes.
And I think she had said something about, I know I can trust you guys because you guys are not going to do this or that. What we were talking about. She said, I don't think that any of you guys in this class are going to do any of the things that I'm telling you not to do.
Right.
And that's when I came and said, well, hold up now. Don't just trust me on face value.
Well, I think at first you said trust is earned.
It is.
Okay. So you still stick to that trust?
Absolutely.
Trust is earned. Okay. Now.
Absolutely.
Okay. Go ahead. Now keep going.
So after I said that trust is earned, it's not for everybody to have because you can't equate everybody with those that you know.
Right.
With people that just start the class. And I said, as for me, don't trust me on my word. Trust me by what I show you.
Mm-hmm.
That was my take. And it may have came out a little differently.
It did, but don't worry about it. We're going to get to that. That's why I wanted to do this show, because the way I remember it, and correct me if I'm wrong, you did lead out by saying that trust is earned. And I think somebody else said something, and then I think it was you where you said that, those of us that are in here, she said, no, I trust the people that I know.
Yeah.
Right? Something like that, right? And then the ones that I don't know, I think it was implied that they have to earn that trust, right?
Yeah.
And as the conversation went on, I think you said something and correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to lay the foundation here incorrectly, but I think you went on to say something to the effect that you shouldn't trust us either, the ones of us that are in the class that she knows, right?
I said that the trust had to be earned.
Right, but that was the beginning part. But the second part, because I didn't disagree with the beginning part, trust has to be earned. But I think that you went on to say something to the effect that you shouldn't trust us either.
Well, the fact that you shouldn't trust a person just because they're giving you lip service.
Or that you know them. Is that what you're saying? Because you know them.
You feel like you know this person because you truly don't know us. Because we've been having classes with you. I've been having classes with them for 12 years.
Right.
You truly don't know me until I'm in a situation or I'm out on the street. I can say whatever I need. We talked about this before.
Yeah.
Faking it till you make it.
Yes, but I think that true though. But I'm not going to let you box me in with that one. But and we have talked about this before. And I do believe that trust has to be earned, but in that environment that we're in, certain things do have to take place where you can get a feel for the other person, right?
Yeah.
To an extent, right?
Yeah.
And no, you never can truly know anybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't get inside of their minds and know what their true intent is. You can only go by what they say and what they do, right?
Exactly.
Right. The way I took that comment that you made, the second part of the comment about being leery, is that it was dealing with us in here.
I think it's
because of this environment.
Well, I think it's because the way I said, what I said was always keep in the back of your mind that we're in prison, that we've done something.
And we done something, and I went on to say, well, how would you feel about that when you get out? how would you feel about that if someone that you worked for always treated you a certain way because you were in prison, right?
Yeah.
You do a good job, you go about your thing, doing all the things that you need to do, but just because you were locked up, they still looked at you with a shady eye, right? That speaks to that they really fully don't trust you. And I just disagreed with that because at some point, you know, you can't have it both ways. On the one hand, you said you believe that trust is earned. I agree with that. But if I've earned your trust, right? Yeah. If I've earned your trust, then trust me, right? Until otherwise.
Until I give you a reason not to.
Until I give you a reason not to. Now, I'm going to go on to add this to it, though, man. I believe that when you're dealing with trust, right, people can make a bad decision in regards to you, in relation to you, right? Yeah. But have good intentions. You understand what I'm saying? Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. A person could assume that they're doing something that's going to benefit you, right? Yeah. And the way they go about doing it turns out to be a bad decision, bad way of going about it. And it affects you and it hurts you. They didn't have ill intentions on what they set out to do. They had good intentions, it just didn't turn out the right way, right? Should you not trust that person?
No, I don't think that you say that you don't trust the person.
Because why?
Maybe not you trust the person, but maybe not their judgment.
Right. What they had, people are going to make mistakes, but they had good intentions. Where I come down on this issue of trust, where I'll not trust that person in a certain situation, is that if I can figure out, or if it's shown to me that they had ill intent, if a person does not have ill intentions toward me, and that's a broad thing right there, that, you know, determining what a person's intent is. But if I'm involved in a program and the person is doing something that's going to jeopardize the program or the individuals in it, right? Yeah. That person has ill intent, can't be trusted, right?
Even if they're just saying, "Oh, I'm looking out for me."
Can't be trusted. That's selfish. That's selfish. Yeah. You're putting yourself before everything and everybody else, right? Yeah. And then you go about doing something that's going to benefit you, but it could jeopardize everybody else. Yeah. That's selfish, right? And in that sense, I don't think that you can trust that person. Now, another part of this thing that comes up to me when I'm talking about this trust is that, let's say that in that situation, in that one situation, the person does something that shows themselves not to be trustworthy, right? How long does that continue on? How long do you hold that against that person? Because I speak to this because this is directly related to people like us, people that are incarcerated.
Well, I say that, like I said, I didn't even get a chance to respond last night, so I can tell you now.
Well, go ahead and respond then. I'm going to give you a chance. Go ahead and respond then. That's what you do.
Now, when you said about an employer not trusting, right?
Right.
All right, I get out of here. I expect them not to trust me.
Okay.
I expect
because you have to earn their trust, right?
It has to be earned.
Okay, go ahead.
So my thing is, I'm gonna make you trust me because I'm gonna give you no reason not to trust me.
Okay.
So when I come out of here and I get the job, you know, whatever I'm gonna do, and I'm in my mind, I'm always expecting that my employer doesn't trust me. So I'm gonna go above and beyond. So I'm gonna earn that trust. Don't take me on face value because I say that I'm gonna do the right thing. Let me show you that I'm gonna do the right thing. So that's what I was saying. A person needs to show that they can be trusted. Right. Because, you know, we've had people in the classes over the years that says all the right things. Yeah. Sounds so good in class, speaks in class, does all the work they need to do and get out. Because we had somebody in Dr. King's class, took the victimology class with us, you know, sat in there, laughed and cried with us and everything in the class. But when he got out, this idiot went out there and did some stupid stuff and then had the nerve to try to get in touch with Dr. King. Can I borrow some money? Right. What?
Right.
Get out of here.
Right, absolutely. You know,
absolutely.
I get that.
It's to me, I guess it's a protective thing. It's why I said that. But it made, like I said, it didn't come out.
I get that. I knew when you were saying it that it was from that angle. I assumed it was from that angle. I didn't know anything, but I assumed it was from that angle, that you were being protected. But I think that even with your good intentions, and I think you had good intentions when you said what you said, that some people could take that in a way that, because I think one of the guys said something to the effect when I used the analogy about, the employer not trusting such and such, such and such. They was like, yeah, you're right, or something like that, right? And I think you have to be careful when you say certain things, even if you got good intentions, to make sure that everybody fully understands, where you're coming from and what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because they can run with that and that can affect a person's self-esteem. You know what I'm saying? That some people can take that and use that as an excuse. You see, they ain't gonna never trust us, so why should I change?
Yeah.
Even though I think that's an excuse too, right, to not change.
Yeah.
But, you have to be careful when you're talking to an audience and you say certain things, get that baseline right. And since I said that, get that baseline right. Let me read the definition of what trust is. I should have done this at the beginning of
To start the show?
Yeah, I should have done this at the beginning, but just so if it's anybody out there that's not really understanding what the definition of trust is, I'm going to read this right. There's several of them on here. The first one says, total confidence in the integrity, ability, and good character of another. Another one says, one in whom confidence is placed. You feel me? Custody or care. Something committed into the care of another. The condition and resulting obligation of having confidence placed in one. Reliance on something in the future. That's dealing with hope. Interesting. And go on and go on and go on. And these other ones dealing with the law and all that old kind of stuff. And then you got another one down here at the bottom that says to depend on, rely, to be confident, hope, and those types of things. So when you're placing trust and confidence in somebody, right, or confidence in the integrity of a person, I do believe that the only way you can get to that point realistically is that that person earns it. But once they've earned it, that doesn't mean that everything that they're going to do is going to be something that results in them being trustworthy, right? To the extent that, or am I saying that correctly? Because they can still, like I said before, they can be trustworthy individuals to make a bad decision. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't the intent
But
that
it still
they
makes them trustworthy, though.
Yes. That's what I was getting at. Does that don't disqualify them from being trustworthy because they made a bad decision?
Yeah.
And that's what it gets to with us. I hijacked this from you because you don't like to use the term mistake, right? You say
not when it comes to crime.
Right? Exactly. You say bad decision, right? So that's why I use that now. I stopped doing that. We have made bad decisions. Some of them just ooh-wee. You know what I'm saying? Bad decisions, okay?
Yeah.
Now, once we come to that revelation of accepting responsibility, being held accountable, and all of those types of things that come into being a positive and productive citizen, we do the things that we hope will earn that trust back because we lost it. We lost the public's trust, our family, our victims, everybody. You feel what I'm saying? That's why we're here.
Yeah.
And we go about doing things to earn that back, right?
Yeah.
Now, how long is long enough for your past to be, continually brought back up to be used against you to show that you're not trustworthy, to push back against, how you're conducting your life now?
You know, it's hard to say because somebody might do the right thing for 10 years and then you make another bad decision. So, but for me, and I'll go ahead and just give this plug into my nonprofit.
Go ahead.
So, my nonprofit, and I won't say it was a debate with my uncle.
Okay.
But he gave me some feedback when I was telling him about it. I said it's ex-felons.
Okay.
With the X being extraordinary.
Okay.
So he was like, well, I don't know. Do you want the negative connotation with that?
Right.
With the word felon.
Right.
I said yes because I want to change the narrative of that. Just because I've been convicted of a felony doesn't mean that I'm going to be worthless for the rest of my life. So
right.
I still want to say ex-felon. He said that I should call it ex-offender. Now I don't want the niceties. I want it to be ex-felon.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean ex-felon?
Mm-hmm.
come on in, let me explain it to you.
Right.
Extraordinary.
Right.
You know, for those who are trustworthy.
Right.
Those who want to earn the trust back from society.
So you want to own the title.
Yes.
You want to own it.
You want to put it on me and
redefine
say,
it.
yeah, you want to put me and say, I'm a felon. Okay, I'm the next felon.
Yeah. Which to you
Is
is defined as extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't like any of those labels. My name is Joe.
It is.
You know what I mean? And I do understand what you're trying to say, and I applaud you for that. But it makes me think of when people try to switch around and use the word nigger in a positive light, right?
And I get on people about that all the time.
Wait a minute.
I get on to them.
So how do you get on them? Why? Tell me why. Tell me why.
Because the whole thing behind that was just terrible. I mean, we know that slavery existed biblically.
Yeah.
So biblical slavery was nothing compared to American slavery.
Man, what you said.
You know, American slavery was the most brutal.
What you said.
So that I can't see using that word or twisting it to try to make it a
something
term
good.
Endearing. You know, that's not endearment. That's
Well, I've heard people make the argument and say we're trying to take the power out of it, take that away from them. You feel what I'm saying? By owning it, right?
I guess I can see that because that's the same thing that I'm
I was
looking at
getting
it
ready to say.
with ex felon.
Absolutely.
Is that I'm
now
taking
wait a
my
minute.
power
Now,
back.
I don't agree with it. I'm just telling you what
Oh no,
I've
no,
heard
I know you
people
don't.
say. You know, and this. But I mean, I'm not going to tell another person what they should or shouldn't do. You're on your journey. You're on your path.
Well, give me another thing to come with this to describe us as these extraordinary. What are we?
You're an extraordinary man. That's what you are.
So ex-man.
No, just say. How about just saying extraordinary man?
I'm talking about the nonprofit.
So the title.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to think about that. You know,
Let's see,
I think about that.
And if
But-
your listeners want to think and chime in, they might be able to come up.
Yeah,
with
well,
something.
and exactly. If y'all got any ideas for him on that, as far as a name for his nonprofit that doesn't include felon, but I think he wants to emphasize extraordinary, right?
The extraordinary has to be there because if
well-
you're going to be involved with me, you're going to be extraordinary.
There it is. If you have any ideas, you know what I'm saying, hit us up in the comments section on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, or you can hit me up in my email at doingtimewithjoet@gmail.com. That's DOIN without the G. Don't put the G on there. Doingtimewithjoet@gmail.com. And make sure you let it be known that this is for Michael, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like I say, you know, I'm glad that we had this conversation. It was one that I've been waiting all day for you to come in for work, you know what I mean? Because I think that as individuals that are looked at as I don't like to use role models, but people look to us, you know what I'm saying, to conduct ourselves in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And I think that part of that comes the responsibility of being right and exact on what you're saying. I'm not talking about being perfect. I'm just saying that people listen to what you say. You know what I'm saying? And you influence people by what you say. So the next time you get to talk about something, you need to explain yourself.
And I have to say, I never thought that I'd be in prison long enough to be called Unc.
Ain't that something?
Man, ain't that
Yeah. Well, I'm past Unc. It's that they call me Pops. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or the old man. You know what I mean? So, yeah, all of that, right? But yeah, I want to appreciate. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it, man, for sitting down. And we got to do some more of these.
Yes, sir.
And whatnot. And like I said, if anybody's got any questions or comments about what we talked about, please hit us up in the comment sections on YouTube or hit me up in my email account at doingtimewithjoet@gmail.com. And we'll do our best to respond to it, you know what I'm saying, through our family members and whatnot. So appreciate you listening. Share this with your friends. Hit that subscribe button. You know what it is, you know what I'm saying. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe T. I say peace, y'all.